supporting Free the Children and to be a part of the very first We Day in the United Kingdom. And I want to thank all the sponsors that have made it possible. You know, you are really the ones making this possible, and I want to say congratulations to you. You've already heard you can't buy a ticket to this. You had to earn your way here. Congratulations on being chosen to participate, and congratulations on the commitments that you have made to actions local and international to make this world a better place, to free the children. As Craig said, not just from poverty and exploitation and injustice, but free the children, including yourselves, from any sense of powerlessness or hopelessness. You can make the world a better place. You can free the children all around this planet. One of the reasons I know this is that I first met Craig and Mark when they were teenagers. When Craig was 12, as you know the story, he just told it to you. It was very soon after that, when I was Vice President of the United States, I invited Craig and Mark to come down to Washington, D.C. from Canada, and we had a wonderful talk. I was so impressed, not just with the words that they used, but with the passion to make the world a better place. And I have seen what they have done since then. It is incredibly impressive. And it caused me to remember what life was like for me when I was 12 years old in the United States and the civil rights movement was beginning. And it's hard for you to really get how much injustice was in the world at that time. We still have injustice. But when I was 12 years old, African Americans were legally discriminated against. Couldn't use the same restrooms or water fountains, or they had to sit in different places in movie theaters, and some places would refuse to serve them at all. And my friends and I saw that as a terrible injustice. And my generation of children, when we were your age, asked our parents and elders, tell me again why this is not wrong. And when you have a very clear sense of what is right and what is wrong, don't let anyone try to talk you out of it. Stand up and fight for what you know in your heart. We have seen in South Africa, young people led the fight to end apartheid and to free South Africa. We have seen all over the world where young people have come together to speak out against injustice and to challenge those who were comfortable with the injustice to explain why it can't change. And when Craig was 12 years old, he was asked about why you? Why are you doing this? He said, why not? So the question why and the question why not are both powerful questions. Now, I leave from here to go to South Africa to train 1,000 Africans to be climate activists. And in the United Kingdom, you have seen this winter the incredible downpours and the flooding. Thousands of homes flooded for weeks on end. The biggest downpours and rains in 250 years and maybe longer, because the measurements don't go back longer than that. The North Polar ice cap is already half gone. We're seeing the change in weather patterns. We had a downpour in my hometown in the United States in Nashville, Tennessee that was very similar to what you've seen in the levels here in the UK. And thousands of my neighbors lost their homes and businesses. They didn't have insurance because it had never ever flooded in those areas. We heard about the young Pakistani boy who inspired Craig to get active in informing Free the Children. Well, think about what happened in Pakistan a few years ago when that record downpour pushed 20 million Pakistanis out of their homes and made them homeless, further destabilizing that country. In my nation today, we have an historic drought that is affecting agriculture in the western part of the United States. Think about a few years ago when the historic drought in Russia led to all of their grain being taken off the world markets, and all of a sudden food prices went to record levels. And in poor countries where they spend so much of their income on food, there were food riots. Why is this happening? Well, we are putting 90 million tons of global warming pollution into the Earth's atmosphere every single day, as if the atmosphere is an open sewer. That is wrong. We have to change it. And a lot of people feel the same sense of hopelessness and powerlessness that Craig and Mark overcame in order to start Free the Children. The accumulated man-made global warming pollution in our atmosphere today traps as much extra heat energy every 24 hours as would be released by 400,000 Hiroshima atomic bombs exploding every day. It's a big planet, but that's a lot of energy. That's why the oceans are heating up and why these storms coming from the warmer oceans are so powerful, like the super Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. Still to this day, 4 million people homeless there. Twice as many as after the Indian Ocean tsunami a few years ago. Again, in my country, New York and New Jersey, hit by Super Hurricane Sandy coming across an ocean that was 5 degrees Celsius warmer than normal. That's where the energy and the downpours and the wind speeds come from. So we have to change this. And it can change. And you can be a part of this change. You know the famous quote, you've already heard it from Mahatma Gandhi. You must become the change you wish to see in the world. This can happen. You can make it happen. Never despair. Never give up. Join together. You've heard the saying that if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Because together, you and we can make the world a better place. Let me tell you one other story. When I was 13 years old, I listened to a president of the United States in those days, President John F. Kennedy, issued the challenge to put people on the moon and return them safely within 10 years. And I heard my elders in those years say, oh, that was a terrible mistake. That's never been done. It's going to be so expensive. We probably won't be able to succeed anyway. And if we had listened to them, that never would have happened. But 8 years and 2 months later, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin set foot on the surface of the moon. And the moment they did so, in NASA's mission control, there was a great cheer that went up. Of course, the average age of those systems engineers at mission control that day was 26 years old. Think about that for a moment. Because what that means is that their age when they first heard that challenge was 18 years old. They decided to be a part of that mission. They decided they could have hope. They could exercise power by joining together and getting a good education, learning the skills that they needed to be part of that challenge. They changed the world, and you can change the world. I want you to think for a moment. I want you to think just for a moment about your lives from this wee day forward. What will your life be like when you are 40 or 50 years old? Well, you may have children, God willing. And in those days, they will ask one of two questions. If they live in a world of bigger floods and stronger storms and deeper droughts and all of the horrific consequences that the scientists have been predicting from global warming, they may ask you, what were you doing? Why didn't you act when you could? But if they live in a world with solar energy and wind energy and efficiency and new renewable and recyclable economies, if they have hope in their hearts that their children will live better lives still, they will ask you, how did you find the moral courage to stand up and make the world a better place? We have everything we need to succeed, with the possible exception of the will to act. But that's what V-Day is all about. Always remember that the will to act is a renewable resource. Free the children.